Welcome everybody to the Virtual Fortress. I'm your host Jay Reed, aka the Virtual Wizard, and this is episode 16. And I got a special guest in the house that visited the Virtual Fortress. He's been here once before in the summer, and he is back for his second time visiting for a podcast episode. He goes by Tyler the Creator, aka Tyler Kilburn. Can I call you Kilburn?
Yeah.
All right, Kilburn. Yeah, Kilburn. Yo, say what up to people out there in podcast land, Tyler.
What's up, everybody? It's Tyler here.
Tyler.
And my first time being on the Virtual Fortress. Thank you for having me here, Joren.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, just let people out there in podcast land know a little bit about yourself, like your hobbies. I know this is a gaming show, but that doesn't always have to be about gaming. Tell them about what you enjoy doing and like just a little bit about yourself.
All right. I was born in the forbidden year of 97. Ever since I was a kid, I actually was a big fan of video games. I first grew up on Sega Genesis that my dad gave me and played a lot of stuff on Gameboy game. And I actually did, as a kid, get to play a lot of the classic games because back then there was like a lot of compilations like Capcom Classics Collection, Mega Man Legacy Collection, and many stuff like that. So I was able to play a lot of the classic games back then. And as I grew up, and especially when I went to high school, I was actually like a huge fan of classic games. And I grew to respect them, and I grew to love both classics and modern games at the same time.
That's dope. That's dope. Yo, did you get the original Game Boy Advance?
Yeah.
You did have? Did you get it right when it came out? Because I know I didn't.
Probably not. I probably got it like a year after.
Okay. What was your games that you liked for that?
I guess games I really did love were Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland.
Ooh, I do. I own that. I do.
Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
Okay.
And Super Mario World.
Super Mario World. Is that the one with the Super Mario World Advance, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's 2.
No. Okay.
Advance, I think, was Super Mario Brothers 2.
Did you have a Gunstar Heroes Advance? Or Metal Slug Advance?
No.
Okay. Those are one of my favorites. Or like Contra 3 Alien Wars. Not Alien Wars, Alien EX. But yeah, Game Boy Advance, dope console. Yep. Classic handheld is what I meant. Console. Now you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah. I think it probably was the best handheld console because it was just so simple. I love the graphics and music. It was great to see a lot of the like classics given the new generation to be able to play them.
I feel you. Like I was probably like I was a teenager, probably maybe like 15 when it came out. So I never got into like I got older when I picked them up. But what was your favorite console of all time? Like growing up or now?
I guess growing up for me, it would have to be the Nintendo Gamecube because it did bring a lot of memories together, and I was able to hang out with a lot of my friends back then. We were able to play stuff like Super Monkey Ball and Mario Kart Double Dash.
See, that game's expensive. That game's like, well, not that expensive. It's probably, I've seen it for like $70 in like retro gaming stores, but GameCube is very underrated. I think it kind of fell behind to the original Xbox, and now the PlayStation 2. So people really didn't like it, but it does have some real classics like F-Zero.
Yep, F-Zero GX.
GX, yeah. Like you said, Super Monkey Ball.
Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Yeah, it had some dope titles. Like, now, did you have like sibling rivalries with your brother?
I did, in fact.
What games did you have rivalries? I gotta hear this.
I guess for rivalries, the main games I would say would be Mario Party, like all the ones on GameCube, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and of course Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Oh my goodness! And was it just GameCube that you had rivalries, or did you have like rivalries for like other systems as well?
No, it was actually not just GameCube. I actually also did have a PlayStation 2 as a kid. And
what was your favorite game for that?
I guess it was hard. One of the games I had a big rivalry with my brother were Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Oh, I think I have that too. That game is sick. What made that game different from the other Mortal Kombats, in your opinion?
I guess what really made it different is that you got to actually create your own character.
Oh yeah. Wait, there was a game that was like it was like one of the worst Mortal Kombat games. It was like Mortal Kombat Special Ops or something like that.
Special Forces.
Special Forces. Yeah.
You played as Jax, and you had to stop Kano from doing stuff.
Yeah, I didn't like that game. But so Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Do you know when that was released?
I think if I remember correctly, it was either 2005 or 2006.
So you could basically create your own character, and would you play like a story mode? Is that what you did, or you just you just create your own character to do basically 1v1?
No, it was like you had like all like you pretty much how it worked is that you had every Mortal Kombat character that existed back in the day.
Word.
Like even like the characters from like Mortal Kombat X and 11, they were in that game because they didn't exist back then. So it's pretty much every character from Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, 4, Deadly Alliance, and Deception. And they were all cool. My favorite Mortal Kombat character back in the day, and still is Iceman himself, Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero, yeah, that's my favorite too. My brother and I always had rivalries on who was better, Sub-Zero or Scorpion, because he was in love with Scorpion because of the movie as well. And like From the Depths of Hell, and I was always a Sub-Zero fan. Even though my favorite color is red, like I always gravitated towards like the big frozen blue guy, which is Sub-Zero. So that's something that Tyler and I have in common. We both love Sub-Zero. So yeah, that's dope. Now, another topic you actually want to get into that you text me was you're very interested in talking about crossover in gaming. So like for you, what are the best like crossover games that are your favorites?
Well, I guess for me, one big crossover that has actually really inspired me a lot and I really enjoyed would be the Marvel vs. Capcom series.
Yes, my brother. Yes, Marvel vs. Capcom series I think is the best. Also, specifically number 2, because how many characters did they had in that?
56.
56 characters. They had a secret Wolverine character, right?
Yeah, there was like 2 of them. There was like one with adamantium claws and one with bone claws.
Bone claws, yeah. I'm still working on unlocking all the characters for the Sega Dreamcast because I think that's the best port of that game, in my opinion. I know they released it for original Xbox and PS2, but my favorite is the Sega Dreamcast port. Like, what made that game so different? Like, because I remember seeing Marvel vs. Capcom in the arcade at Good Times, and like, it blew my mind because I'd never seen anything like that. I didn't know what a crossover game was. Before that, I saw X-Men vs. Street Fighter, but this game was like all Marvel, all Capcom, and it was just crazy because it's like, I don't know, and it had my guy Mega Man in it. So, like, what was your go-to 3 that you would pick for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 specifically? Because I know in the first one you could only pick 2 characters, and they didn't have Ken in the first one, which was very sad. But Marvel vs. Capcom 2, what was your go-to 3 characters that you would pick?
Well, I guess personally for me, for some reason in fighting games, I always loved the characters that would use swords. And I
think I know where we're going with this.
And that was actually one major reason why I even love series like Soul Calibur, because I just love the whole idea of fighting with weapons.
So you were a Strider guy?
Yep. Strider was one of my mains that I would use for MVC2. I would use Strider, Silver Samurai, and one more guy from Star Gladiator.
Hayato?
Yeah, something like that.
Hayato, yeah, he had like the green sword or like the turquoise sword.
Yeah, he had like a lightsaber like sword.
Yeah, he's sick. And he had like a white headband and like spiky hair. He was sick. My go-to characters I used to always kill was Ryu, Mega Man, and Gambit. Those were my 3 go-to. Like, I would like destroy, and like using the credit card, and like Gambit would use like this special that would have like 80 hits. Do you remember what it's called?
Yeah, like Royal Flush.
Royal Flush. And it would like get 80 hits and you just throw mad cards. and the opponent would just be done. So I was like, I don't know. What else characters did you like in that game?
It's hard.
I did like Venom.
Yeah, I did love Venom.
Venom, Blackheart.
Because Venom was like my favorite Spider-Man villain. And I know I'm probably going to make some people mad, but I liked him in Spider-Man 3. Sure, yeah, Topher Grace was a terrible choice, but I just enjoyed the fact that he was in the movie.
Did you like Sandman in
yeah,
Spider-Man
I
3?
thought Sandman was good, but I guess the problem is they kind of retconned him to being the one who killed Uncle Ben in the series.
Yeah. I don't like that either.
Yeah, it's just maybe if they never showed the person that killed him, then maybe it would have been more fine.
I guess they just needed a reason for him to go after the not Sandman, but Sandman.
Yeah, Sandman.
They needed a reason for Peter Parker to go after Sandman, so he can, because he killed Uncle Ben.
Yeah,
but
and then there was Harry Osborn as I think New Goblin.
Wait, why don't you think? Yo, they should have had a Green Goblin in Marvel's Capcom. That would have been sick.
It would have, but I don't know. I think the thing with Green Goblin, it would have been hard because he's always on his glider.
That's fine. They had Doctor Doom.
Yeah, but then Doctor Doom, like, he actually doesn't have anything he's riding on. He's just standing there
That's
on
true.
the ground.
You know what I would do in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is like, it's however I'm feeling that day, I would pick 3 characters that kind of like resembled each other. So I would pick like, if I'm feeling, I don't know, not how I move, but I would be like, I'll pick Ryu, Ken, and Akuma, you know, because they all like have similar moves.
Yeah.
Or I would pick like all like villains. I'll pick like Magneto, Blackheart, and probably Doctor Doom. Actually, I'd pick all like no, there was no Mr. Sinister in that.
No, there wasn't.
No, but I would pick characters that would resemble, or like if I was like somebody that I've never tried before, then I would pick them. What's the what is the guy, the cactus with the sombrero?
El Mingo, or something like that.
El Mingo, and a character that we always talk about. That's the game right there. We're talking about Alien vs Predator. I was playing some game background on the background TV right now. But we were talking about the character from Darkstalkers.
Arnarchorus, or something like that.
Yeah, Arnarchorus in the mummy tomb.
Yep.
But all right, so like the title that, how do you feel about MVC3?
I actually really enjoyed MVC3. Sure, I guess one thing I was kind of disappointed in, there wasn't as much character, but then there was Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which I believe had like 48 characters.
And what did original have?
Original had 56.
So how was that better then?
Well,
I meant like MVC without the DLC or whatever you want to call it, because I know there's MVC3 and then MVC3 Ultimate, which had like Nighthawk.
Hawkeye.
Why did I say Nighthawk? But yeah, the thing that disappointed me about that game too is then Ken wasn't in that game either.
I'm alright with no Ken.
Yeah, what? Come on.
Well, he's just too similar to Ryu.
Doesn't matter.
At least
he's still the man.
I know, but at least Akuma, he fights a bit differently.
Yeah, I do like Akuma. But then they had like She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins.
But I think they did get lit with some cool characters. Like, I'm glad they put in... I guess the 2 characters I'm really glad they put in were Dante from Devil May Cry.
Oh, that's a good one.
And Deadpool.
Oh, yeah. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. I remember he used to do that. Like, overall, what do you think that... How do you feel about the game? You liked it a lot, or it was okay?
I guess it was okay. I guess one thing I wish they did was had more characters, and I wish they picked more interesting characters. Like a lot of the characters I didn't care for. Like, I didn't care for She-Hulk. I didn't care for MODOK.
What about Hagar? He was in that.
I was happy to actually they put in Hagar after they kind of screwed him over for being in Street Fighter. Because they put in Guy and Cody from Final Fight, but they didn't put in Hagar.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna throw this this topic off a little bit. So on our drive here, we were actually talking about Final Fight. So who's your go-to person for Final Fight? Cody, Guy, or Hagar?
I'm gonna go with Guy.
Guy? Okay.
Yeah.
Why Guy?
I don't know. I just thought the whole idea, because Guy's kind of quick to hit people with.
But He wasn't in the Super Nintendo version, wasn't he? No.
No.
He was just an arcade version. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And plus, I thought that made him kind of unique. That he was like this secret character that he essentially was so awesome they couldn't even put him in the Super Nintendo version.
I know, and Tyler and I always talk about at work that how Final Fight for Super Nintendo was one player, and we never understood that that it was a one play. It's basically a 2-player game, but it's a 2-player game like in the arcades, but it's a 1-player game for Super Nintendo. So it makes absolutely no sense why they would do that. I never understood. Plus, they have some hidden gems in there, which is like Andre, which resembled Andre the Giant, right?
Yeah.
And what else did we talk about? It was like there was some controversy over Poison.
Yeah, Poison,
which was supposed to be a transgender character, but I guess I don't know, Capcom or something in Japan where it was some controversy over that. So Poison is just Poison, I guess, if you want to say. But and there was like there was something else we talked about that had to do with that game.
I think it was that some of the bosses were playable in Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, like
Rolento.
Rolento
and Sodom.
I hate both of them, but
And then there was Abigail in Street Fighter 5.
Abigail in Street Fighter 5. Oh yeah, okay. I do remember. All right. So that was just a little Final Fight thing that we try to turn over. All right, so now I actually want to get into something that is actually one of my favorite things that I own in my collection. And I talked to Tyler about this probably like maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And I've been telling him, yo, you got to get this. And he was like, all right. And he finally got one. And this is my favorite thing that I own in my collection because it's definitely worth the money. It is the Pandora's Key. I own the 5S, but I don't know if he got like a later version. It's basically a built-in arcade joystick with either like over 1,000 games in it. And it only costs probably like $150. You can find it on eBay or Amazon, or there's other websites to get it too. But this thing is just like, there's games that from the arcade when you were a kid that these games are on this actual joystick. I think it's a built-in like some hard drive thing that they use, and it's plug and play. You just put an HDMI cord in, you just plug the power cord in, and you just turn it on and it lights up. And there's just like thousands of games on this thing, and it's like, so what do you think about that?
I think it's awesome that so many games from back in the day in the 80s and 90s can be played again, because especially it's hard with looking for like console ports of those, especially nowadays.
I know there's so many games on there that I was like, oh, I saw this on YouTube, or like I used to own this game and like I didn't know where to get it, but I found it on there. There's like Japanese titles too, so it's like you get to explore new titles that you never heard before. There's like so many Konami titles that I've never heard of now that I'm playing now or trying out, like this is not Konami, but this is a Capcom version. But Knights of the Round was a good game. I actually beat it probably a couple of weeks ago. But what is your go-to game on the Pandora's Key?
I guess for me, my go-to game would be Ninja Baseball Batman.
Ah, yes. Last time Tyler was here in the Virtual Fortress, we played a game called Ninja Baseball Batman. It is an arcade game. It is weird. It is very, very weird. It is like, I don't know, these characters. How do you explain that game, Tyler?
I guess I could explain it to you. It's about a group of ninjas that are also baseball players.
And they like, there's like a red character.
Yep.
There's a green character, and
there's like a, I guess, normal size red character, short green character, like kind of tall but skinny blue character, and a kind of large,
just like
fat,
bulky guy,
yellow character.
And one of them has like 2 baseball bats.
Yeah, the green guy has 2 baseball bats.
This game is just weird. It's fun. It's really fun. It's dope. I heard about this game so many times. I've been meaning to play it at the time, but then when Tyler came over last time, we played it and we beat the whole thing. It's just weird. The enemies are just, it's just big, one big cluster, if you know what I mean. But yeah, but if you haven't played Ninja Baseball Batman, I suggest you just take a look on YouTube. But now going back to actually the Marvel vs. Capcom topic, there was a title that Tyler doesn't like. It's kind of like a agree to disagree. It's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. He's been telling me that it's bad. I've seen reviews that it was bad, and I'm not trying to ride on the bandwagon and not saying that you are. This is your personal opinion, but I didn't think it was that bad, to be honest. Like, I really didn't think it was bad. Like, the game flowed. It had the characters. It had Mega Man X in it. It had, Ryu in it. I don't know. We had this argument that Wolverine was in the game or wasn't in the game. I thought he was in the game. I might have been wrong. Maybe I might have not been seeing eye to eye with that game. I might have thought I saw him, but why don't you like that game?
Well, it kind of really comes down to two reasons. Well, just the way the game is presented, and then more for me, just Capcom's attitude towards people about the game.
How so? Elaborate.
I guess, well, because first off, people were already saying, well, our X-Men characters are going to be in the game, and then once they revealed they weren't, people asked Capcom, why aren't they in the game? And then they gave like two responses that just kind of ticked me off.
What did they say?
One of them was like how the characters are just functions. Like, oh, but Magneto has like a 8-way dash, but then this other character could do it. So there you go, yeah, Magneto. And I was like, what? Functions? Even though they might have similar moves, each character does play differently. Like Ryu and Ken, even though they essentially have the same moveset, there are some key differences between the two.
I think I know what you meant. That was one thing that kind of threw me off. You had like these gems that you would have to pick. I don't know. Some of them was like I forgot. I've played it probably like twice.
I'm not.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Though. I know you don't mean that, but like that was what I didn't like about the game. I didn't like one was like I don't know.
Oh, the Infinity Stones.
The Infinity Stones, which is like it allowed you to do certain things, and that kind of threw me off because I was like, I think it's too much thinking, and you're adding a little bit too much to the game. Yeah. So I mean, I just like to just play and like whatever, variety I want to pick, I pick. But that was just like it was like 6 gems or whatever. But
yeah.
But you don't like that game.
Yes, and then here comes I guess with the whole Infinity Stones, it was a cool idea, but it reminded me a lot of Marvel superheroes because they had the Infinity Gems.
Yes. You're right. And they didn't even have specials in that game, really, like that, right? It was just
they did have specials, but then they had like I think Stone Surge or something like that.
That's what it was.
Where you activate the power, and some of these were just unfair to me. Most specifically, Space Stone and the Soul Stone. Soul Stone essentially lets you bring back your dead partner, and you both fight your opponent at the same time, which is dumb. And then there was the Space Stone, which trapped your opponent in a space where he couldn't like move around. You're like trapped in this cube.
Yeah, that's I don't know. When you add too much stuff like that to games, like I don't know, it kind of throws everybody off. But we can also talk about like there's another game.
Oh, there was one more thing I want to bring up.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Another thing that I didn't like with Capcom's attitude of this game is they essentially said that most modern Marvel fans don't even remember the X-Men.
Whoa. I don't know what they were on, but that's completely false. If you are a Marvel fan, you are definitely an X-Men fan. I don't know what they would get that. I will always remember X-Men. When I think of Marvel, X-Men is like the first thing I think of. Yeah. So I don't know what they were talking about. But
I think it's because everyone knew why, because the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, that Marvel didn't own the rights for the X-Men movies. So they were trying to make it seem like they weren't even part of Marvel anymore so that they could buy the X-Men movies rights back from Fox. So they essentially said no modern Marvel fan even remembers the X-Men. They'll say, oh, but they put in the Guardians of the Galaxy, which were pretty much nobodies until the Guardians movie came out. like essentially, if you think about it, a lot of these Marvel characters, who even knew majority of them before these movies came out? Because I'm pretty sure everyone already knew Spider-Man.
There's characters I didn't know either. Like honestly, like I've heard the character, but I really didn't know who Doctor Strange was. I didn't really know until like they started. I've heard of Doctor Strange, but I didn't know that. I really didn't know who he was or what he did. So it's like I feel like nowadays they just try to make a movie out of anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm not saying that making Marvel movies are a bad thing, but it's like I feel like these companies are just doing too much. You're just shoving these characters down audiences' throats, and it's like you're doing too much. So they need to pull it back a little bit more and just go with the originals. I know a lot of them are the originals. Obviously, no offense to Stan Lee, but I think they're just doing too much.
I agree. I feel like one movie that was just announced would be Morbius.
Yeah. See, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like he's essentially in Marvel. He's essentially a vampire. Like he was essentially a sick doctor, drank some blood, and became vampire. Like I didn't get it. Like Venom, I would understand to make a movie on it because he's popular. He's a very iconic Spider-Man villain, but I don't think most people care or know that much about Morbius.
I have no idea who Morbius is, and like most people are probably gonna be like, "What? You don't know who that is?" But like, yeah, I'm a Marvel fan, but I'm not a die-hard Marvel fan. Like, I collect Marvel stuff. I have Marvel comics. I do collect memorabilia, but I'm not like knowing every single character that Stan Lee or whoever
Jack
Kirby has created. Like, I just like the X-Men, Spider-Man, Hulk. Like, I know those, yeah.
But you don't know the iconics like Spider-Man, X-Men, and Hulk. But you don't know like the lesser knowns like Doctor Strange, Black Panther.
I know Black Panther, yeah. I know Black Panther, but it's like...
But who knew Black Panther before like Civil War?
Exactly. But it's like they push these characters down audiences' throats, and it's like these characters that people haven't even heard of, and I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I wouldn't say that. I'm pretty sure they would want to introduce some characters to us, but then I feel like, do even some of these characters even deserve movies? Like Black Widow, for example. Like, no offense to Scarlett Johansson and Marvel. I think you're all cool people, but it's just we've seen Black Widow enough. Do we even really need a movie about her? I mean, the thing is, she's dead now. Spoilers for Endgame, but then why should we make a movie about a character that's dead? I mean, are they going to bring her back or something?
I know a cameo appearance is fine, but when you take the cameo and then just like try to make a whole movie, and then I don't know, that's when I become less interested. But so moving on, we're going to talk about a game and also a crossover game that Tyler and I both despise, and that is Street Fighter versus Tekken.
Yes.
I do not like that game. I got it at a retro gaming store not too long ago. Popped it in thinking it was going to be like the greatest thing ever, and it was nothing. It was just the same thing as the Street Fighter 4 or whatever. It was the same thing. Like, it was nothing different. The characters looked exactly the same. Like, when you think of like, because I'm expecting like Capcom Street Fighter graphics and Namco graphics, and I didn't get any of that. Everything just looked like they just took from the other game and they just like rendered the characters and just made it into, like they didn't put any heart into it. And I was really disappointed. So it's like they thought that fans will probably like that, but they didn't. But why don't you like that game for you?
I guess why I didn't like it is two reasons. Number one is gameplay. It just doesn't seem to work. Like, Street Fighter doesn't seem to work with like the whole 2v2 aspect. Mm-hmm. We save that more towards Marvel vs. Capcom and
Tekken Tag Tournament.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good one too.
Yeah, and speaking of Tekken characters don't. I seen from that game, Tekken just doesn't seem to work on 2D. That it has to be like the 3D plane for it to really work.
Right. So who's your go-to Tekken of all time? Tekken character, just one.
That's a difficult question.
I know you don't like Eddie.
Well, Eddie's cool, but I just don't like to fight him because he's just dancing all over the place.
Yeah, it's that capoeira, man. You gotta get hip. I mean, I go with martial law. Law's my guy. He's the first guy I've ever picked when I first got my PS1 for Tekken. He resembled obviously Bruce Lee. He wore the same clothes as Bruce Lee, the yellow jumpsuit that he had in Chinese Connection, and like the tank top with the pants and everything. So like I always gravitated to martial law. No Yoshimitsu for you?
Well, I like Yoshimitsu and Tekken, but then I honestly prefer him Soul Calibur, if anything. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of Yoshimitsu and Tekken.
Why not?
It's because he doesn't seem to have like much of a personality.
You feel like they just threw him in the game because he's Yoshimitsu. He just had to be in the game.
Well, I think if I don't know if I'm right or not, but I think Tekken Yoshimitsu was first before Soul Calibur. But then with Soul Calibur, he's like, "How's it? Yee!" And he's like talking, and you could see what his personality is like. He's essentially like Robin Hood, that he's helping the poor from the rich. But then with Yoshimitsu and Tekken, he's just so mysterious. What is he even? Because he doesn't even talk. He just makes weird noises.
Okay, but all right. How do you feel about Capcom versus SNK?
I actually like Capcom versus SNK.
Yeah, same here. It was dope. It was different. They had two versions, right? They had 1 and 2.
Yeah, they had Capcom versus SNK and then SNK versus Capcom.
Smart. Got to make it fair. Got to make it equal. Who was your go-to in that? I mean, I only knew Terry Bogard, but who's the kickboxer guy? What was his name?
From where?
From SNK, from King of Fighters, wasn't he?
I don't know.
He had like a headband and he was like a kickboxer type of guy. Or do you only know Terry Bogard just like me?
Well, no, I know Terry and I know Mai Shiranui.
Yeah, I guess I just stayed with the Capcom characters, but I do love Capcom versus SNK and SNK versus Capcom. But now I want to get into something that I started doing recently. I did it probably in a couple episodes ago, and this is actually called the video game polls. And I wanted Tyler's perspective on this as well. Now, video games polls is basically what I do. I've showed you at work the polls that I do on Instagram, and I let people on Instagram vote which is the better game or whatever I like is better memories or whatever. They get to vote on it, and basically the winner, I announce it on my podcast. So I want to hear your take on this. So we'll do, how many do you think is good? Like 10?
Yeah, let's go with 10.
Okay, we'll go 10. All right. So starting off, and I didn't even tell you about this, so I want you to be surprised. So, all right. So basically we started off with what's better, Final Fight for the SNES or Streets of Rage, the original for Sega Genesis. And what do you think? In your perspective, what do you think?
I think I'll go Streets of Rage mainly because Final Fight was just one player.
Do you want to know the percentage?
Yes.
The percent. It was 92% to 8%. Streets of Rage killed Final Fight. That surprised me though.
Not really for me.
Why?
Because Final Fight was just one player.
Yeah, but it wasn't that bad. Final Fight's good, yo. Like I would say at least give them like 40%. Like Final. I've grown to love Final Fight.
Well, if we're talking about like arcade Final Fight, then I would go with Final Fight.
Yeah, but it destroyed, I guess. Streets of Rage, yeah, obviously that's my baby right there. But all right, so moving on to the next one, number 2. We got Luigi's. Which is the category is what's the best game to play during Halloween? Luigi's Mansion or Resident Evil, the original? What do you think?
I guess if we're talking about, well, personally, I would probably go with Luigi's Mansion.
Okay. Can't hate on that.
Because the thing is, it's more quicker, and I would like to beat it in a day. With Resident Evil, it kind of takes a while, and the tank controls kind of kill it.
That's a very, 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 very good point. I like that point. I didn't think of that. Like, because I was thinking, just Resident Evil, of course. But it's like, yeah, you want a quick game to play for Halloween? Yeah, Luigi's Mansion is nice and quick game. But this one, you gotta do a lot of thinking and the tank controls, like you said. But unfortunately, Resident Evil 1, not unfortunately, because Resident Evil is a great game, but Resident Evil 1 with 69% to 31%. You surprised on that?
Honestly, no. Because, yeah, I already knew Resident Evil was going to be the winner. But then the thing with me is I only really played Resident Evil 4.
I had a lot of memories with that game with my cousin X. We played a lot of Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube version. So, thanks for bringing that game up. Next, did you ever read video game magazines?
Yes, I did read some Game Informer when I was in high school.
Okay, so the category is Nintendo Power or Game Pro. What do you think? What's your take on that?
Personally, for me, I think I never read either of them, but then I did research on Nintendo Power and Game Pro, so I'm probably gonna have to go with Game Pro.
They're both great magazines with a lot of information about the games that were out at the time. But Nintendo Power won with 54% over 46% for Game Pro. So, but they're both dope magazines. Oh, this is gonna be a one that you love right here. So, next one, Marvel vs. Capcom 1 or 2?
2, obviously.
Of course, but it was a close one, to be honest. It was Marvel vs. Capcom 2 won with 51% over 49% from original Marvel vs. Capcom. So that almost made my heart sink too, because I was getting scared when that was going on. But I knew you would like that one. Let's see. Next one. Let's scroll through these. What do you think? What's better, Burnout series or do you like Crazy Taxi?
Well, the thing is, I never played either of them, but I have seen gameplay of them. I might have to go with Crazy Taxi because name another game where you drive around a taxi.
I don't know. You're right, but
and help and picking up people.
That's true. I used to kill that game. And memories of dropping them off, and then they get upset at me, and then kick my taxi when I don't drop them off in time. But I did love Burnout too, because like when you crash, it was made from Acclaim, and you would crash into stuff, and like you see all the particles fly off, and that was just really that really captivated my vision for that game. I really enjoyed playing Burnout series, but Burnout won with 57% to 43%. So, okay, let's see. Let's scroll down. Oh, okay, we'll take it off of the video game topic for a second. What do you think is better movie? Original Terminator or original RoboCop?
Personally, I might have to go with Terminator, even though I do prefer Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah, I know.
I might have to go with the original Terminator because I just think the Terminator is much more iconic than RoboCop.
RoboCop is...
Even though, not saying it's a terrible movie, I just found Terminator fascinating with the whole... I think what made it cooler is that Terminator itself is a complete machine. It just has a disguise below it, which I just think make it much more cooler. That it's essentially hiding itself from society. Where RoboCop, he just sticks out like a sore thumb in public.
Hey, it was a dope. They were both dope movies for its time. Like it was a way ahead of its time for both films, and like obviously you got to go with RoboCop director Paul Verhoeven, if I said that right. He was very gory and very graphic with his titles. He also did Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. But James Cameron obviously takes the cake with 60% over 40%. So James Cameron's that dude, yo. So let's keep it moving. I know you like this one too. Here we go. Soul Calibur 2 or Tekken 2?
That's a hard one.
It is a hard one.
Mainly because Soul Calibur 2 I had a lot of childhood memories with. I had the GameCube version and I loved playing Link in that game.
Hey, this is only your opinion.
I know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think the people voted for. Just pick whatever you thought was better.
Honestly,
so if you like Soul Calibur 2, then hey.
Yeah, I'll go with Soul Calibur 2. Tekken 2 is good, but then I do prefer others. Like I prefer Tekken 3
Me too.
over 2.
Yeah,
so I'll go with
too.
Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah, Soul Calibur 2. I chose Soul Calibur 2, but it lost. Can you believe that?
Yes.
It lost 39% to Tekken 2. Tekken 2 had 61%. So that was kind of strange. Not really strange. But okay. So we'll do how many more you want to do? What do you think?
How many did we do so far?
I don't even know. I really lost count.
I guess
we can keep going. We can do like 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, let's do 4 more.
We'll do 4 more. All right, here we go. We'll take it off topic a little bit. Homer or Bart? What do you like? Of The Simpsons? Homer or Bart?
I'm not sure. I never really watched The Simpsons as a kid.
Get out of here. That's a lie.
I may have watched it once in a while, but I wasn't really into The Simpsons like most people do. Honestly, as a kid, I watched more Family Guy than Simpsons.
I can't knock you on that. But who did you gravitate to? Who did you like? Bart? Did you think Bart was cool, funny, or did you think
I guess
Homer was
probably
better?
Personally, for me, I might have to go with Bart because I kind of did like Bart's attitude. He's like, I don't care what you say to me, sort of attitude, which kind of is like me.
That's true. You don't care what people think, and Tyler is a big fan. Fun fact of Bob Ross. So, any Bob Ross questions you want to ask him, go right ahead. All right, moving on. Next one. I know you like this one too. What is the better game? Revenge of Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden?
Which Ninja Gaiden are we looking at?
Ninja Gaiden, the first one, original.
I might have to go with Revenge of Shinobi.
Oh, really? Okay. How so? Why?
I just felt like, well, for one thing, at least it doesn't have any BS like the first Ninja Gaiden, where if you beat at the final level, you lose to the final boss, you have to start over 6-1.
I do remember that.
And plus, with Shinobi, just think it's much more funner and more fair than Ninja Gaiden.
You're right. Ninja Gaiden was hard. Really hard. Like they just throw like these bats or whatever in random spots, and like you can't even jump, or you gotta time. Everything has to be timed perfectly and correctly, or you will not make it past the level. So, but I chose Ninja Gaiden. So you chose Revenge of Shinobi. I chose Ninja Gaiden. I do like Revenge of Shinobi, but I think I liked probably Shinobi 3 better when you get to ride the horse, and I did like Shadow Dancer when you had the dog.
Yeah, but then that game's also very hard.
Yeah,
because you die in one hit.
Yeah, you die in one hit, and then you got to start all over. So, but I did like that game. But surprising, that works out for both of us because it's actually 50-50. The votes were 50-50 on both. So we both win. Now, next one. Capcom versus SNK 2 or Street Fighter Alpha Warrior's Dreams?
Wait, are we looking at the original Alpha?
Alpha Warrior's Dreams.
So I'm guessing Alpha 1. I might have to go with, personally for me, Capcom versus SNK 2. Because I just love the whole crossover thing with the series. Plus, Alpha is not really my favorite Street Fighter. I do prefer Alpha 2 over Alpha 1, honestly.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of Alpha 3, actually. I'm a big fan of Alpha 3.
Alpha 3 is alright.
What?
I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of that one.
I don't know. I think that's probably like, it's the first game I've ever got for a PSP. I know it's for other consoles as well, but that's the first game I got for the PSP, and I remember like killing that game every day, and like I got that game for Christmas, and then I got a Star Wars game for Christmas I think I got the white PSP. It came with a Star Wars game, but I remember killing Street Fighter Alpha 3 X Plus, I think that's called. And yeah, I just loved it. So like when I found out it was on the Pandora's Key, I fell in love with it even more. And I rebought it actually too. So I'm happy with that. All right, next one. Oh, what am I saying? What am I saying? Street Fighter Alpha won. I didn't even tell y'all out there who won, but Street Fighter actually Alpha Warriors Dreams won with 51% over 49% for Capcom versus SNK. It was a close one, but yeah, it was pretty good. So, I think I know you. I think you'll like this one. And so we got Golden Axe 2 or Altered Beast. I know you know my answer.
Well, we're looking at like Genesis or arcade ports.
We'll go Genesis.
All right. Well, I guess I might go with Altered Beast.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna pick Golden Axe because we played it for the Pandora, and we were just like, it was just frustrating. We kept dying over and over and over, and I was like, yo, I'm never playing this game again.
I know, but I just love the whole transforming into a beast.
That's true.
Plus, I think it's much shorter with only 5 levels.
That's true. And
it's more fast paced.
Yeah, I'm a Golden Axe fan, so I went with Golden Axe 2, and Golden Axe 2 won with 61% over 39%. Now, for the grand finale, we will go. Let me scroll through. Ooh, I think you'll like this one. We'll stop with that. We'll end with this one. So, we got Devil May Cry for the PS2 or Symphony of the Night. Castlevania. I know you're a big Devil May Cry fan, but I'm a Castlevania fan. So, what you got?
I would have to go with Devil May Cry. Because I just love the whole atmosphere of the game that you're essentially trapped on a remote island and you have to battle your way through a horde of demons.
Yeah, it's a dope game. It's crazy. Yeah,
and then you eventually find out, your history and find out the man responsible for this all is the person that was the cause of your mother's death. And eventually you have to then kill your own brother, and then you essentially had to escape the island.
Spoiler alert.
Yep.
But like, I'm a Castlevania fan. I went for Symphony of the Night. I think it's the greatest Castlevania game ever made. That game is just amazing. It's for the PS1. But you know what? It's going to go to you, man. You won 57% to 43%. I'm very surprised on that. Devil May Cry won 57% to 43%. So.
I guess one reason why is because of they probably played on PS1 and that had terrible load times. I think if they played on like the 360, it wouldn't be as bad.
I know. I feel you on that. All right. So, you know what? I was going to let that one the last one, but like this actually ties into something we were talking about at work, which is like old cartoons. So, this last question for you, and I want you to tell me why. We have and it's not even the game. Not the game.
It's just the show?
Yep, they're both made by Konami, these games too. For Sega Genesis. But what is the better show to you? Did you like Tiny Toon Adventures or Animaniacs?
I might have to go with Animaniacs, honestly.
Ooh, why Animaniacs?
Because I just loved the humor from that show. It was very suggestive.
They were both funny. Those shows were both funny. And remember we talked about the episode on Tiny Toon Adventures when they were drinking beer, and that just was like it changed. It was weird, and I think it got canceled, or they not canceled, but
banned.
It got banned. That episode got banned. It's an episode when Buster Bunny, Plucky, and Hampton the pig they find some beer and they skip school, right?
I think so.
I think I haven't seen that episode in so long. They like skip school or something and they go to the park and then they're sitting on a bench and they're just drinking.
Then they drive and then they die.
Yeah, they drink beer. Say no to beer, kids. But they drink beer and it's probably a clip on YouTube.
No, I think the full episode itself is on YouTube.
Yeah, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. It was just weird at the time because it's like why is beer in this like this kid's cartoon?
Well, I think they were trying to teach kids to say no to beer. Like they made like Captain Planet to say no to pollution. There's a big
difference from alcoholism to pollution. You know, it's
and
just like don't litter. You know.
Yeah, and there was this Cartoon All Stars thing that was like saying no to drugs.
Say no to drugs.
Yeah, like it had like Bugs Bunny, Michelangelo.
Oh yeah.
Alf.
Say no to drugs, dude. Yeah, that's funny, but. I believe Animaniacs won. So That was my favorite show too. So I loved Wacko, Yakko, and Dot.
Yep.
You know, and Pinky and the Brain, and what was the dog name? The dog that used to always try to save the girl. She would get into these like situations where she can hurt herself, and he would always try to save her.
I have no idea.
And there was like the 3 pigeons that would sit on a tree and like just talk.
And there was the squirrels.
Yeah, the squirrels. I do remember that show.
And then of course, Hello Nurse.
Hello Nurse. Yeah.
That's another thing. That show was very suggestive.
Mm-hmm.
Had very adult scenes.
It did, and it meant nothing to us because it was. It wasn't different. We never felt uncomfortable about it. It was just regular TV for us growing up in the 90s. So, I mean, it's good to go back into the past and think about those type of shows. Pinky and the Brain was like...
It was interesting that essentially the main character was the main villain.
Right, exactly. Pinky. What are we going to do today? Same thing we do every day. Try to take over the world. Every episode... And it would never work. So,
I mean, they can't let them take over the world.
I know you got to keep the story ongoing. Yeah. He'll never take over. He'll try every episode, but he'll never take it. Narf.
But I wish there was an episode because I wish they could have done something similar to that. You ever watched this movie called Megamind?
Yeah, the blue guy with the big head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, at the beginning of the movie, he takes over the world, but then he's not happy. What's his purpose now?
Mm-hmm.
Felt like if Brain actually did take over the world, he probably would feel the same way. Take over the world. Now what? What do I do next?
Exactly. If you take over the world, then the show is over, basically. So.
And he might become depressed because what's my purpose now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, but I want to thank you for coming on to the Virtual Fortress and joining me in this wonderful episode. This episode 16. We made it to episode 16. We're gonna keep on doing more episodes and. You want to say anything to everybody else on Podcast Land, man?
I guess one thing I got to say to everyone is that during the toughest of times, don't give up. Just believe in yourself and try to get through everything.
Hey, wise words from a wise man. And until then, keep gaming on.
Turd nuggets.